from BJP's Nishikant Dubey in Lok Sabha accusing the Congress of hobnobbing with anti-nationals in China for dividing the country and creating anarchy. But politics seems to be peaking over this, with Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury now writing a letter to Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla. So a letter has been penned by Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury. The letter states, we demand under Rule 380 that his remarks be expunged in full and that an inquiry be conducted into how such an allegation was permitted to be raised on the record. Let me quickly go across to Siddharth. All of this, Siddharth, of course, taking place after the New York Times investigation, which has certainly raised several questions which are now being cited by the BJP. It was Anurag Thakur who addressed the media in detail over the same issue, and the similar issue was raised by Nishikant Dubey as well. Take us through the contents of this letter.
So Anurag Thakur was in the company of Rajiv Chandrasekhar as well when they held a joint press conference to basically level allegations against the Congress based on what the New York Times has written. Let me just take you through the operative portions now of Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury's letter to the Lok Sabha Speaker, Mr. Om Birla. And he says, when the acting chair was giving the floor to ministers to lay papers on the table, Sri Nishikant Dubey's mic switched on. He proceeded to level libelous and defamatory charges against the Congress party and Sri Rahul Gandhi, a member of the House, without having given any notice, let alone taken the permission of the chair. His allegations were a flagrant violation of Rule 353 of the Rules of Procedure and the Conduct of Business in the Lok Sabha. And then we, of course, come to the other rule that he cited, which you also mentioned, Prithvi. We therefore demand under Rule 380 that his remarks be expunged in full and that an inquiry be conducted into how such an allegation was permitted to be raised on the record. So that's the leader of the Congress party in the Lok Sabha writing to the Lok Sabha Speaker demanding that the comments made by Nishikant Dubey be completely expunged because they were libelous and defamatory in nature.
Okay, that they were defamatory in nature and hence the Congress objection coming in. Thank you for that, Siddharth. Let's quickly go across to Aishwarya as well. That's the letter that's been penned by Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury to the Speaker, but it's all about the investigation by the Enforcement Directorate, which found that media portal NewsClick had received more than 35 crore rupees funding from abroad. And ever since the New York Times investigation report was cited by the BJP first up today, these kind of questions are being asked by the BJP and were raised alike in the Parliament as well.
Well, certainly, and Times Now reported the entire controversy extensively during that time when the Income Tax Department and the Enforcement Directorate had registered cases and they were investigating into the alleged fund that was used by NewsClick and was funded by the Chinese as well. To which now today the entire controversy has evolved because there was a news article by the New York Times that was rigged up by the Bharatiya Janata Party member of parliamentarians, including Nishikant Dubey. And in the parliament, he in fact went on to say that money from China came into NewsClick, an environment was created by against the government by the Chinese by using these Chinese funds. In fact, Anurag Thakur went on to say that it was Rahul Gandhi during that time during the Olympic Games went to China and signed different MOUs with the Chinese government, and that money was funded into Rajiv Gandhi Foundation as well. So several allegations were made, but BJP clearly had targeted the Congress party. And today, when Bharatiya Janata Party leader Nishikant Dubey was speaking in the lower house of the parliament, it was now alleged by Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury, and a letter has also been written by Adhir Ranjan Chowdhury, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, to Om Birla, that when it was a time when the member of parliamentarians had to lay the paper, it was Nishikant Dubey mic which was switched on, and he made accusations against the member of Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi, which is not right, and his speech should be expunged. So certainly there are a war of words which had now erupted between the BJP and the Congress over the entire controversy that has now come into light as far as NewsClick's funding is concerned.
Okay, very interesting. So what you're trying to highlight, Aishwarya, is what goes back to 2021, how the investigators back then traced the flow of funds to this American millionaire Neville Roy Singham, who was allegedly known to have close association with the propaganda arm of the CPC as well, how he funded NewsClick, and how not only did the Congress back NewsClick when the entire investigation unfolded back in 2021, but also accusing the Congress party of receiving funds from China. So it's a two-pronged attack.
Well, certainly, when Anurag Thakur mentioned that during that time when the Income Tax Department and the Enforcement Directorate booked the cases against the American businessmen and also investigating into how the money was funded from the CCP, it was also stated by Anurag Thakur that how, including Congress leaders, there were several leaders of Trinamool Congress who backed and attacked the agencies during that time and stated that how this is the entire fight against and it's a kind of resort to the freedom of press, and different allegations were made, tweets were made at that point of time. And now it has also been stated by Anurag Thakur about the facts, about the dates, that when the UPA government was in was there, how
So the
Rahul
BJP
Gandhi
says it's not us saying this, it's a New York Times investigation report that has said very, very clearly that all of these companies were funded by one person, and the aim and intention, the BJP says, was very, very clear: to defame the Modi government and hit out at Prime Minister Narendra Modi, try and corner him. Interestingly, Aishwarya, all of this comes at a very interesting day. Thank you for getting us all those details.